But the mayor today also facing a firestorm of criticism over his tweets about a Hasidic funeral for a Brooklyn rabbi who died from COVID-19. Critics say he unfairly targeted the Jewish community, painting it with a broad brush. Today, the mayor did not apologize. He called his words tough love, aimed at preventing deaths. So, how do leaders balance religious practices while enforcing social distancing? Rockland County has faced a similar issue, and News 4 investigative reporter Sarah Wallace is in News City with more on how they handled it. Sarah.
Well, David, Rockland certainly has had its share of controversy, and the man often at the center of it is the one inside this building who runs the county. He is also a retired New York City cop, so he understands the political dynamics there.
Just last Friday, a mass gathering at this cemetery in Rockland County generated a complaint. A health report the I-team reviewed says inspectors observed more than 100 individuals present, with additional vehicles arriving. A violation was issued. There have been several in recent weeks.
We have had 13 violations where they've been cited. 10 of those were in the Orthodox community.
County Executive Ed Day has been accused by some critics of singling out the ultra-Orthodox community in pursuing complaints. A local legislator went on a Facebook rant just today.
Ed Day expects her to go outside of her house and push away her neighbors who come onto her property and wanted her to console her while she's at home arranging for the funeral. I mean, what is wrong with people?
I recognize politics for what it is. I recognize political enemies for what they are. And I'm not going to be guided by their whining and crying over things that don't exist.
Last night's gathering of thousands at a rabbi's funeral in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, put Mayor Bill de Blasio on the defensive after he went on Twitter specifically mentioning the Jewish community. He criticized the flagrant violation of rules. Rockland community activist Yossi Gestetner fired back, blasting the mayor for not cracking down on fans gathered for the military flyover, tweeting, "Why were his eyes only on 300 Hasidim, mostly wearing masks, and not on what has been going on all across the city all day?"
To all those, I understand politicians, everyone has said, oh, look, this is like people gathering in the park. No, it's not like people gathering in the park. It was thousands of people. Can we just have an honest conversation here? It was not acceptable.
That event last night never should have happened. It better not happen again. It can't. It is, again, we can talk about this till the cows come home. It doesn't get any crystal clearer than this for me. You are putting my cops' lives at risk, and it's unacceptable.
The police commissioner says that about a dozen summonses were issued last night. He says that will happen again if there are future events and possibly arrests. The good news here in Rockland County is that the county executive says the pressure seems to be working, that the size and scope of unauthorized gatherings is down. Live from News City, Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.